Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1.
Well, hello tubers, hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. Today we're going to talk about Carolyn again because, as again, over and over, I am like the world's biggest psychic because I can predict when Carolyn's RV life loses her crapola over the male-dominated world. And she's done it again. Auto mechanics. It's always the auto mechanics or the man lurking. Just like when she came to Canada a few years ago. She loves those videos of the men lurking. Her audience are disenfranchised women, I suspect, because the videos that do better now are the men lurking. And it's sad, you know. But the liberals, they like to create boogeymen all over the place. It's always the lurking somebody, you know, the lurking conservative. Ooh, danger, danger, Master Robinson. Oh, Lordy. So, I watched so you don't have to. So let's get to the actual story. She's had these brake problems. Funny thing is, a couple of weeks ago, she did the video about how her brakes rust and that's why they make noise and just relax. Like she's some sort of auto expert. She does a video. Surprised she hasn't taken that video down because in the latest video, she says, well, I was completely wrong on that regard. It wasn't rust. So she goes to a mechanic in upstate New York and proceeds to lose her crap because she references the male-dominated industry of the auto mechanic world, which it is, but that's just the way it is. There are female-dominated industries too, and I don't avoid them just because women are involved. Like, for example, I go to a really good bakery. Every person that works there is a woman. And if I have a really bad apple fritter one day that I buy there, I don't suddenly tar and feather all women as being horrible creatures because I got a bad apple fritter from a female-dominated industry at my female-dominated bakery. I don't do that because I live in the real world. And people are just people, regardless of the gender. And of course, I've seen the documentary. I know what a woman is. I guess Carolyn hasn't seen that documentary and she hasn't figured that out yet. But there's always hope. Always hope. She's got the Starlink, so she should be able to stream that and get her head straight. Sorry, there's actually people shooting guns around here. Yes. Yes. There's lawful gun owners even in my vicinity. Am I scared? No. Yeah, we're moving into the hunting season here, folks. So people are getting ready, getting their guns ready to bag some moose and deer and bear. And actually, no, bear season's, I think, in the spring. Yeah, it's moose and deer in the fall. Anyway, getting to her meltdown, she is literally almost in tears over the male-dominated industry of the auto mechanic world and how they take her power away and they don't listen to her. And she's referencing all the ills that men have done to her decades ago that somehow, she's been in therapy for decades. She has not gotten over it. If anything, I think she has a really good case, and I would testify as an expert witness, if she was ever to do this, that she should get every dollar back of therapy that she spent because it has not worked. She's still in therapy over men and whatever general issues of men that she has. Apparently she doesn't have a good relationship with her father or her brother. Her brother occasionally even comments her. Seems like a reasonable dude. Somebody I'd love to interview. Drill down to the basics of what's going on with this lady. And, you know, it would be so obvious if I make things up about her, but I just report what she says, and I give my editorial on it. And, you know, if I made complete garbage up about her, it would be obvious to all the people out there in the audience. And obviously there's a hunger for me analyzing her because thousands of people have been yelled at and barred and banned on her channel. And they come to my channel because I like free speech a lot more than she does. So it's not my fault. And I'm only reiterating what she says and does. And her transmission's going, I did a video about that. She warned you to get ready to help pay for that. So she even hints that she's really going to lose her crap. She just puts a little hint there in the video before she cuts to a different scene. how the transmission's going, and oh, she's building up the anger for that transmission to fail. Now I do have solutions, because it's one thing to just bitch and whine about Carolyn. It's easy to do, I get it, but I always bring solutions to the table, because her and her friendlies, as she calls her cult followers, they need solutions. Carolyn needs solutions. And the way around this, because she talks so badly about men, most men, I think she likes to use the term, so she always has, a little out for those liberal beta boy snowflake men that she probably does like, especially if you obey her. So the way out for Carolyn to avoid the entire male-dominated whatever and the male hatred is she can join the party. This is 2023, and I've been watching the liberals on the YouTubes, and apparently the liberals believe that you can self-identify with a different gender. Yes, so Carolyn, all she needs to do is self-identify as a man. She's already, mostly there. She wears a lot of flannel. She's kind of looking masculine. She's quite handsome some days. She just self-identifies, and now she is part of my club, right? And then all the bitching and moaning, it ends, because she's part of the club, the exclusive male-dominated whatever club. Or she could even surgically go the full step and really be, a man. And then that would end the bitching and moaning. But oh no, she likes to have complaints, so she couldn't do that. So that solution that I brought on the table, well, she could consider it, but I don't think she's going to grab onto it. How about even another practical solution? Since she's always the smartest person in the room, she knows more than these licensed auto mechanics who work on her motorhome. If she knows so much about it, why isn't she doing her own damn repairs? That's another solution. Look, over the years, I've done all sorts of work on cars. Often I do get lazy and I pay a professional because I can't be bothered. But often, if I want to save a buck, or I have the time and the weather's correct, I will just do the work. Yeah, that's all you need to do. Since Carolyn is the expert at everything, and she knows more than the licensed auto mechanics, she obviously then, if she's so smart, she could do her own work. That's all she needs to do. Or, let's say that doesn't even work. Maybe she doesn't have the tools, because that's always a legitimate issue. If you don't have the tools, okay, you could actually buy the tools. But aside from that, she actually could just find a female-dominated repair facility. Phone around. She's got the internets. She could find a garage, call them. Hey, do you have any women that work on RVs? Because I'd love to have only a woman work and touch my RV. Okay. Phone around, find that shop, go there. But oh no, that would backfire. Because then suddenly, if she was looking for a refund and to bitch and moan about the cost, she'd now have to blame a woman, and she don't want to ever risk that, does she? So I know my solutions always have a little bit of problems when you factor in the Carolyn, lifestyle and her mentality, but they are solutions. So there are competent auto mechanic women out there, and I really don't care about anybody's gender as long as they get the work done. If you live in a small town and there's 2 plumbers, and the best plumber in that town is a woman, and the worst plumber is a guy, well, I'm going to use a woman. Don't care about your gender, I just care about your results. That's what you pay for, is results when you hire a professional, whether it's an attorney, a physician, or an auto mechanic. You're paying for expertise. So who cares about gender, really? It's not a gender issue, but she makes it a gender issue because it's all about baiting the hostility to get the audience. She's desperate for something to say in her narrative, her false narrative, just to stir the pot with her audience. It's very sad that she has to bait people in such a fashion, because I really think it's a low blow for gender wars. Look, if I got on this camera every time and just bitched about whenever a woman did something to me, oh boy, I'd look like a liberal snowflake, and I'm not a liberal snowflake. So, oh my Lord. When will she learn? But we do have the potential failure of the transmission that is about to happen. And oh boy, is she gonna lose a gasket. And she doesn't have the restraint to actually stop the camera or resist the urge to put a camera in front of her face when she's acting in such a pardon me, when she's acting in such a manner. So I don't know why she doesn't have more insight into her own behavior. Look, when my blood sugar drops, I can get a little cranky, and I'm not proud of it. I've learned to manage it over the years. Some people, when they drink alcohol, they get nasty. Not me. I get friendly. When my blood sugar drops too low, I'm not the nicest person. I get it. I understand it. And my first urge is not to pull out a camera when it rarely happens and film myself being a jerk. Because I've learned. I'm an adult. I have insight into my own behavior. I'm sure most of you all do too. Well, why would you film yourself at your worst rather than at your best? Carolyn, another little tip for you. I like to bring solutions to the table here to help her. So, but I've actually figured out why she really loses her SHIT over the auto mechanics consistently. It's because when you watch her on YouTube, when she gets money, everything's about extracting money from the audience, right? For her, not for me. I don't give a crap. So when she does one of those live begathon super chat thingies, she is so happy. Which every person that gives her money, she lights up. She's so happy. It's a wonderful, beautiful day of rainbows, lollipops, and liberals, right? But when she walks in to that male-dominated industry of auto mechanic worlds, she realizes, I now have to pay the male-dominated industry. I must pay myself. I must pull out my wallet and pay these men, these bastards, these evil, horrible, cisgendered male mechanics. And she's angry because she has to support the male-dominated system of auto repairs. Because, let's face it, it's mostly men in that industry. And she won't get off her butt and find a competent female mechanic to give the money to. No, she can't be bothered. No. Rather, creating the boogeyman enemy of the male-dominated industry of the auto mechanics, she's so angry that she has to pay those people so much money. And her anger has caused some ugly things in the past. I wish I was making this up, but we all know about the death threats her followers have made at auto mechanics that she's mentioned in the past. At least she was smart enough not to mention the actual business by name this time, because we know it would go sideways and we know it would be ugly. And often she's gotten refunds because of the behavior of her ugly followers, which I think is quite deplorable. So, do you guys think that I've nailed the reason why she's so angry? Because she has to pay men for these services, and she resents paying men and supporting the male-dominated industry of the auto mechanic world. So ironic that she has to pay us men to fix her vehicles. Oh, I score one for the male team. I'm the Rosetta Stone of truth here when it comes to Carolyn. You put your comments down below if I've cracked the code, and what are your predictions for when her transmission fails? Oh boy, is it going to be something. I'm going to be popping the popcorn for that one. In the meantime, folks, I hope you guys are doing well. In the meantime, stay safe, keep your wheels to the ground. I'll talk to you soon. Over and out.